everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Des and this is Books and Stuff. Today I'm reviewing Hope I Get Old Before I Die, Why Rock Stars Never Die by David Hepworth. And this is what that looks like. From the author of Abbey Road and Never a Dull Moment, the basis for Apple TV's 1971 documentary, come the stories of how rock icons like Pink Floyd, Bruce Springsteen, Mick Jagger, and more have survived, thrived, and remained the most powerful forces in music. When Paul McCartney closed Live Aid in July of '85, we thought he was rock's grand old man. He was 43 years old. As the 40 years since have shown, he and many others of his generation were just getting started. This was the time when live performances took over from records. The big names of the 60s and 70s exploited the age of spectacle that Live Aid had ushered in to enjoy the longest lap of honor in the history of humanity, continuing to go strong long after everyone else in the business had retired. This is a story without precedent, a story in which Elton John plays a royal funeral, Mick Jagger gets a knighthood, Bob Dylan picks up a Nobel Prize, the Beatles become, if anything, bigger than the Beatles, and it's beginning to look as though all of the above will, thanks in large part to technology, be playing in Las Vegas forever. So this was one of those books that I don't know how I had it on my Kindle, got there. It took me a while to read. I read it, I put it down, go read something else, come back to it. It was all within this year. Some of the stories I loved, some I did not. I felt like the chapters were long. Some of it I felt was like too much. Obviously, the Beatles was a big part of it. Bruce Springsteen, and then other ones that I'd never even heard of. Like I said, very interesting how they became, how their songs could be remixed, and how even after they die, sometimes become bigger than ever, like Elvis Presley, and then it talks about how the museums like Graceland and other museums that are out there for different musicians, the Hollywood, the Rock of Fame, or that kind of thing. So it was good. It's like I said, it just took me a really long time, and some of the stories just drug on, and the chapters it seemed like one of those books that I was never getting anywhere with it. I felt like I was reading, and I wasn't moving forward and getting any closer to the end of it. And then when I finally had 2 hours left to read, because your Kindle will tell you that, my Kindle died and I had to read something else while I was waiting for it to charge up. So, like I said, it was an alright book. It's definitely, if you're into rock and roll and you like the Beatles and Springsteen and Elvis, and maybe some even prior to that, maybe some even newer ones. If you like that and how technology evolved it, and it went from the CDs and the LPs and maybe even the 8-tracks to where it is today with streaming and being social media and all that stuff, I definitely would recommend checking it out, but just know that it is a book that might take you a little bit longer to read, and it seems like, especially if you do it on the Kindle, that you are never getting to the end of the book. It's just you could read for 2 hours and you've got maybe 3% into it. So that's one of the things that I struggled with. But like I said, it is called Hope I Get Old Before I Die, When Rock Stars Never Retire by David Hepworth. So there you go. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful day.